Hey guys, sorry I'm starting a bit late. I was having some technical difficulties. My screen was loading for a while, so I wasn't sure what was going on, but I think I got it fixed. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So, anyways, hello and welcome to the pilot episode of The Realm of Horror, where we step inside a world that fuels nightmares and shines a light on the shadow lurkers. I'm just starting off irrelevant, but I'm your host Lauren, and today my friend Allie and I will discuss the best YouTube channels out there, or YouTube horror to mention. It's a horror thing. I'm also hoping to discover new channels I haven't heard of yet, so feel free to join in, leave comments, contribute in any way, because we want to hear from you guys. I want to learn of any new horror channels I might be missing. Always down for finding new ones to look at. So, there are hundreds of channels out there for a myriad of tastes, and that makes YouTube overwhelming to navigate. So I think the best way to map out this episode is to look at specific tastes. So I'm going to ask my friend about what she looks for when she goes on YouTube trying to find a horror channel. So Alice, what do you look for? What kind of thing do you look for when you go online to find horror channels? Are you trying to find something in the true crime genre, more paranormal based, suspenseful, psychological, or a mix of everything?
When it comes to YouTube horror channels, I typically try to find a combination of everything, like an even balance. Just because, although finding one category and exploring that area is great, it's also good to, do a combination so you can experience all of it, all at once, which is pretty cool. So yeah, a combination of suspense, thriller, paranormal for sure, and true crime for sure. Yeah, because true crime is all around us, so that makes it even scarier to me because it's a realistic thing. But yeah.
Nice. And guys, I'm going to shout her out. She also has a YouTube channel. She actually does reactions to some horror channel videos. We'll get into that later, exactly which ones we react to. But her channel, do you want people to follow it on here?
Yeah, if you guys
want to plug that info?
Sure. If you guys are interested, I try to upload as consistently as I can. So typically each week I maybe upload once. Again, we'll get into the horror channel that I react to later, but yeah, feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's okay. So try to look up Film Fanatic on YouTube. It should pop up.
What's the icon that they look for? Like the picture?
The picture is really weird. It's just me with a umbrella.
It was originally King Kong, right?
Oh, it was originally
Godzilla.
It was Godzilla.
Godzilla, yeah. My bad.
Sorry guys, but I changed it. I'm very inconsistent with my profile pictures.
That's okay. Just look for the beautiful person with the umbrella.
Thank you very much.
Okay, anyway. So my next question for you, Alice, when you're looking for specific horror, what are some of your favorites that you've come across? Because that's the theme of this episode. We're talking about our favorites. And why are they your favorite?
Some of my YouTube horror channels I absolutely love are Nuke's Top 5 is one of them, and some of I assume many of you have heard of this just because this is more of a paranormal, supernatural channel where it is technically it's realistic because there's live footage or there is evidence of paranormal incidents. So this narrator, Nuke's Top 5, he puts in videos from either that people sent in, like his subscribers sent in, that are supposedly paranormal, and then he voices over them and discusses what's going on and whether or not you should, or it's up to you whether you should or you want to believe in that or not.
So is it a found footage thing? I know I've watched it with you a few times. I'm just trying to remember exactly what they...
Yeah, I would say not exactly found footage, but he incorporates some clips in just to tell. He kind of discusses a backstory and then includes the clip of the actual situation, and then kind of analyzes it from there. So, but it's real footage, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know I've seen it, and it's it's just a list, right? It's top, because top 5, so it shows a...
Oh yeah, it's a list, but then he goes down the list and puts all these clips in, which is pretty cool. So.
Cool, yeah. Let me know if any of you guys have heard of that. I watched a few of his videos. It definitely reminds me of this other channel called Chills, right? Or
Oh yeah, chills.
yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, a lot of these.
Is that his name? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I
his
got it
name is
right.
Chills. Yeah, he has a very unique, distinct voice. Let's just say so, which makes it even creepier. So
Yeah, it's very like slow and like monotone sounding. It's quite interesting, but it definitely like adds an eeriness to it.
yeah, which is pretty cool.
Which reminds me, what was that other channel, like the animated channel, and that girl had like a more monotone kind of eerie voice, like a slow way of talking.
Oh yeah, Thriller Teller.
Yeah, Thriller Teller. It's an animated channel you guys should check out. They do a lot of like just like the animations are like so,
Yeah,
but
fair.
the stories are actually pretty scary. Like
Yeah.
we were very like surprised. Like I didn't know what to expect from it because I was like, you stumble across a new channel, you're like, is this any good? But it was actually very interesting. So definitely if you want some like creepy narration and some animation, um check that out for sure. And what else?
I would say another one on my list in terms of scary animated stories is Horror Shorts Party for sure. They have really upped their game, at least in the past couple years, on their animation for one, and just the stories themselves. They moved from, I don't know, they used to do random stories here or there, but and then now at least they consistently upload like fast food horror stories, but it's pretty cool because they not only incorporate animations into like dramatized animations into their stories, but also real life footage. So it's a combination of true crime as well because it actually happened, but they design animations to dramatize the actual event, which is pretty cool. But again, this Horror Shorts Party is a animated YouTube channel.
Excuse the crunching in the background. Her cat, Misty, is eating right now. I wish I could show you guys, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm dressed to be on camera. So anyway, so yeah, I also really like Horror Shorts Party. I know they have a lot of like the fast food horror stories. Those are fun.
Yeah,
for some reason we like to watch those while we're eating. It's it's weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, they actually, well, I would say they upload more of the fast food horror stories now instead of like, say in the past, because in the past it was more, what was it? Like, let's just say, I don't know, amusement park horror stories, like not as many fast food, but now it's more consistent. But
And it's like the most random. It'll be like McDonald's horror stories, and then it'll be like Wendy's horror stories, and then
like Domino's horror
7-Eleven, and then
yeah.
Domino. Yeah.
Yes.
And there was, I just remember there's this McDonald's story that was really weird. Like it was about like remember the French fry one?
Yeah.
What was it? Like there was this creepy clown and like
he would make you eat all your French fries, or he would be like, "Oh, why didn't you eat your French fries?" And like you didn't, he would kill you. So
yeah, I think like the premise of the story was this guy was like wanting to study late at night at McDonald's because it was like close to his house and his roommates were really like very chaotic and too noisy. Mm-hmm. So he would go to McDonald's in the evenings and like for some reason the employees there would always like tell him to order fries. They'd be like, you have to order fries, like just trust us, like you need to order a side of fries. And he's like, I'm not hungry, but sure, I guess. And so he would always order fries. And then I think like wasn't it like one day he didn't, and then this evil like McDonald's clown came and like ate him. Like his like the sharp teeth came out and he just like devoured him.
Kind of reminds me. Remember Pennywise from It?
Yeah. He looked the same. He had the same exact like sharp teeth that were like sticking out, and like it was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue on with the others.
Yeah, well, actually, one thing really quick about Horror Shorts Party. One reason why I really do like that channel is because not only are the animations incredible and the storytelling itself is wonderful by whoever narrates the stories, but also the very what's the word? It's very it hits you right in the face. Like there's some things that happen throughout the stories, and you'd have to watch them to really understand what I mean. But let's just say the screaming, the sound effects are really weird, but that really adds to the story. I have to mention that. That's what makes it really. It makes me laugh, but also it's obviously makes it way scarier.
Yeah, the screaming is like so over the top. Like it's gonna make you laugh, but it's also gonna make you extremely unsettled. It's a very weird feeling. I don't know.
I feel like not a lot of scary YouTube channels or horror, channels that can do that, because it's like it makes you like wonder, how am I supposed to be feeling confused? So
yeah, I've seen a few animated channels that will just be like very like dry, I guess. Like they have the animation. The animation's kind of decent, but like the story itself is just like, and then they went camping, and then a monster came and ate. Like it's just very like dry and like not told with a lot of emotion. Not like you don't need a ton of emotion. I mean like just more like dynamic, energetic kind of way of telling, and it just doesn't keep your attention. And there's no like very minimal sound effects, and they're just not. Yeah, it just doesn't engage you. But this channel does, so I definitely recommend. And obviously Alice does too. So
For sure. Yeah, well, another one I would say on my list is in terms of scary stories is Mr. Nightmare. I feel like he is the founder in a way of scary stories because to me at least in my personal experience, because he was the one I started watching probably like years ago. He was the very first one I came across, and he's the one who does like almost like a slideshow of pictures in his videos, but he narrates them really, really well. Like his voice is perfect for scary stories, and he adds really great sound effects, and the pictures. He's even added a slight animation to the pictures. When I say animation, I just mean like effects or something. I don't know, like I don't know, raindrops or something. Or so.
Yeah, he always has like it's a very simple format. Like it's mostly just this guy standing in front of the camera, and he has like some like screen background based on the story. So if he's talking about like the woods or something, he'll have like a forest behind him. But he's actually like it doesn't seem like much, but he's a very engaging storyteller. And I would say like probably like yeah, my friend and I both have legitimate ADHD, right? So we, have trouble paying attention to stories sometimes, and like I'll lose my focus, which is why like it's hard for me to get into podcasts sometimes because I'll like lose my attention.
Really,
And
wait, really quick. Are we talking about Mr. Ballin or Mr. Nightmare?
which one did you? I thought you said Mr. Ballin.
Mr. Nightmare.
Oh, my bad.
Wait,
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. I just thought it was funny because wait, you said guy in the background.
Okay. How about this? We're gonna talk about Mr. Ballin right now, and then we'll talk about Mr. Nightmare.
Yeah.
All right.
My bad then. Let's just.
I was not paying attention. See, that's an example of my ADHD. I was not even paying attention to what
think
she
about
said.
it. Also, you do have Mr. in their name, so it is kind of like you might mistake one for another. I mean, it's okay. It happens. So.
I do have a funny joke. If you watch Mr. Ballin, you'll understand this. So, my other friend told me this the other day that I should say this. He won. What is it? He won the lottery he won a lifetime. Sorry, he won a lifetime supply from Lumberjacks R Us, and I only mean because he wears like a different flannel shirt on every episode.
Yeah, there's never.
The guy must own like a lifetime supply of flannel shirts.
Yeah,
like
he never not does. He never doesn't. There's not a time where he doesn't wear a flannel shirt in his videos, at least.
And doesn't he always have a different baseball cap on? Like he always wears a
always has a
backward
cap.
base cap.
Yeah, he never takes his hat. Like he always has a hat on and his flannel. That's just who he is. That's so. Yeah, that's pretty unique.
Oh, and apparently he also has a podcast. I think it posts on Mondays and Thursdays, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I'm calling this from memory. But I would say he also apparently came out, or he's coming out with a coffee brand, which is very random. And he also has a bunch of merch. So
yeah, he has a lot of
stuff. But the interesting thing about him, he's actually a former Navy SEAL, turned YouTube storyteller. So he definitely shows with he has a lot of compassion for the people he tells stories about. He doesn't like exploit them for entertainment purposes. He like actually cares about the people he talks about, and he actually helps raise money for the families and the victims and such. Because he does, like, I would say, I forgot to mention, his story focus is mainly on true crime, but he also does like paranormal and stuff. Side note, speaking of true crime, shout out to the True Crime podcast on here that recently became a Relevant Original. That's great. I'm glad you guys did that. You're a good channel. But yeah, aside from that, he definitely holds attention well, and he has all these like cool sound effects that kind of like keep you on edge, which is cool. I would say, actually, before we move on to Mr. Nightmare, I would say if you're talking about true crime, there is another person I often find on YouTube that's like very interesting to listen to, called Kendall Ray, Kendall and then Rae. she also actually has the same compassion as him. She really cares about the like victims and their families, and she actually helps to raise money for them, and she promotes other charities to raise money for them. And she also even like interviews the families too, and includes those in her stories to actually get an accurate telling, because a lot of time the media like kind of saturates the story with like misinformation, and they don't get the true story, and they kind of like, I don't know, they make it like they just it's not correct. So she actually goes out of her way to make sure that the story is being told in the like most accurate way possible, which is why she's really great to listen to.
Yeah.
And she posts a lot. Like she has tons of videos. She's always very active. So yeah, now like I guess let's talk about Mr. Nightmare. Want to talk about him a bit?
Yeah, sure. So, sorry about earlier, kind of the mix up there, but yeah, Mr. Ballen's great. But now we're talking about Mr. Nightmare. Mr. Nightmare is the he's the one I started. Yeah, he's the one from earlier on years ago when that I started with. So his is also just very simple, like a way of storytelling, pictures in the background, and well, like a slideshow of pictures, and throughout his video, whatever story or whatever the compilation of scary stories he's telling. So he uses that, and then it's just his voice. He doesn't ever show himself, at least as far as I know. His voice and just some simple sound effects.
So it's
and
just like narration.
Yeah, narration. But his is very effective just because his voice, the voice, or his own voice is very, I wouldn't say unsettling, but it really adds, it's dark, so it definitely fits well with the atmosphere of scary stories, which is one thing I really love about his channel. Just the simplicity of it, the simplicity of it as well is very cool, because all it is just, again, the background of pictures that he picks out and sound effects.
Yeah, he has so many different stories. Like you're never gonna run out of stuff to watch, which is really cool. And they're very random too. Like they're like backyard horror stories or Home Alone or Playground or
there's one that was like called Highway Horror Stories. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're very random.
Very random, but whatever you're in the mood for. Like if you're interested in hearing about hotel horror stories or schoolyard horror, I don't know, whatever. I don't know.
And actually, to add on to the range of whatever horror stories that he tells, it's pretty cool because there's also this horror channel called Llama Arts. But what they do is, or whoever is behind that channel, they take some of Mr. Nightmare's scary stories and then they turn into animations, and they create a whole compilation of them. You can check, they're called Llama Arts, and they make pretty good animations off of the stories that, pretty sure you've heard of Llama Arts and you've seen a lot with me. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. So it's like, and it's an addition to.
Yeah, we're very into the horror stories. We especially like the fact that these channels often like do stuff for different holidays. So around Christmas they'll be like Christmas horror stories or Thanksgiving horror stories or just stuff like that. So
even 4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July horror story, like just really anything. So whatever you're in the mood for, like any taste, any like mood, like it's a good channel. And so is Llama Arts. He has really great animations to accompany Mr. Nightmare's stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not trying to like not talk about Mr. Nightmare right now, but I mean it's really really random fact about one thing. I like the Llama Arts because it also they have merch with llamas, so I just thought it was funny. I don't know, I know it's not really scary, but it's pretty funny. I thought it was cute. So.
Wasn't there like a creepy llama animation that used to be a thing years ago?
Llama animation.
I don't know. It was like Charlie the Unicorn, but with llamas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, I guess like comment below or when you watch this later or whatever. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It was like some like goofy like animation with llamas in it that used to be a thing years ago. Hats for llamas.
I don't know how I remember that. I watched that.
And wasn't like stuff exploded and then they were like,
oh yeah, I guess so. It's
like
really dark.
They blamed each other and I don't know. It was.
Yeah. We watched some very. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of dark cartoons, this could actually be a potential like future episode talking about dark children's cartoons, but or if they're even aimed for children. They might not even be for children. I mean, honestly, they're probably not. But there was one called Happy Tree
Oh,
Friends.
Happy Friends. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, definitely. I definitely don't believe their intention was to,
For children.
yeah, for kids. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna act like this is for kids, and then like put every dark element of anything you can think of. So there's a lot of violence in it. There's a lot of gore in it, let's just say. So, but it's all animated is the thing. So you would be very mistaken of their intentions. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like you expect, because like they're Happy Tree Friends, right? It's supposed to be like a youthful, like innocent show, and like all the characters are very smiley and cute. But like
I think of Backyardigans with a lot of have you ever heard of Backyardigans? The Backyardigans show?
so think of Backyardigans, but like add like a slasher film,
Yeah,
and then like maybe something by M. Night Shyamalan or something.
yeah, I guess so. Like, although it's not the worst that you've ever seen, like it could be worse, but also this is an animated show, and it's kind of scary if you think about it. So.
Yeah, no, it's very like I still remember. I'm kind of still scarred from when I was younger watching it and seeing like the gory like stuff that happened to the characters. Like it's very. They did not hold back on those animations. Let's just say very detailed.
No, I question their intentions.
Yeah, I don't. What was their target audience? Like, what? Who created this? Were they on like all the drugs?
Maybe, maybe they were like, oh, we're trying to make it seem like it's for kids, but realistically, adults that are on crack or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe. I don't know.
Yes. So I guess this can only be enjoyed if you are on some drugs.
Yeah,
no, back to the topic at hand, actually, because we were talking about. Well, I mean, technically, this is on YouTube. Like, you can watch.
It's scary.
You can watch it on YouTube.
I'm really shocked that you can, because that's really dark. But...
Just gonna send out a warning though. It's very gory, so just make sure that your stomach can handle that. Don't eat any food while you're watching it. That's
make sure you're make sure on YouTube. Well, actually, since they're not since people are watching it, just make sure your kids are not watching it. So
yeah, keep your kids away. Do not be misled by the title. Mm-hmm. So another person I wanted to talk about that also kind of covers true crime. His name is Lazy Masquerade.
Good. That's another good one.
He has a really cool British accent, as I love British accents.
Yeah.
I was actually just in London, and side note, I heard a lot of people speaking the accent there, and I was like really happy about it.
What a dream.
Like on the airplane, the flight attendants kept saying, "Do you guys have any rubbish?"
Do you guys have any rubbish?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to offend anyone if you guys are British. I just really like the accent. I'm a big fan of
the same. we watched Bridgerton like both the seasons, and we all know what. If you guys don't know what Bridgerton is, it's just like a swoon-worthy romantic drama, but it's all set in like what, London was it? London,
yeah. And we just like, we're not even making fun of the accents. We're trying to talk like them because we think it's so cool.
Yeah, we think it's that. That's exactly why I love I adore the accent, and if I could be British, if I could have a British accent, I would. Really cool.
Interesting fact, I almost actually lived in London because my mom, when we were little, she was actually supposed to get a job through Edward Jones, like that would take her to live. Like, I guess she was supposed to live in London for the job promotion. So I could have lived there for like 8 years from the age 3 to like, around like 9. Yeah, I'm not good at math, something like that. So yeah, that would have been pretty cool, but I'm getting way off topic. But anyways, my dad, didn't really want to leave his hometown. So, yep.
Man.
Nah, I like it here though. Like where we live is cool. The Midwest.
The Midwest. Yeah.
Anyways, so Lazy Masquerade, back to him. So his real name is, I'm not good at pronunciations, but his real name is Samuel Ayling, I think. Ayling, or Lin. Yeah, I said that right. Mm-hmm. And he covers everything from paranormal to mystery, even like paranormal mystery, so like a mix of both. His stories are more horror narration. He doesn't really show his face. I think he showed his face one time because his users like requested, like he was like, "Hey, face reveal," but he doesn't normally. Actually, maybe he does. I don't know. Does his newer videos show his face? I can't.
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I wish I knew more, but for Lazy Masquerade, I don't watch him as much. For now at least, I typically stick to Mr. Ballin and Horror Shorts Party, unfortunately. But yes, I'm trying to just kind of watch a variety at the same time. It's hard to.
Yes, we're trying to find more stuff. So guys, feel free to keep contributing and putting out channels like you have been. Really appreciate that. And so anyway, Lazy Masquerade. Typically, his voice is very low and slightly monotone, kind of adds to the chill factor a bit. And I don't know, I just like the way he tells the stories. Obviously, my all-time favorite will be Mr. Ballin, but
For sure.
Lazy Masquerade is great. I have really only watched his older stuff, I think, because I just watch what's in my feed, and typically I get whatever videos come up. But I need to watch more of his stuff for sure.
Mm-hmm. By the way, really quick, I know we already talked about Mr. Ballin, but I feel as if we didn't. At least for me, I didn't give as many details as I could have about what makes him unique. Just because I thought I was talking about Mr. Nightmare. And then, yeah, anyways, Mr. Ballin, though, for me, I really do adore his, not adore, but, you know, I'm a big fan of his work because, first of all, it's pretty cool. Like, he's in front of the camera, and so it's very, you can see his emotions, and that really does play a big role in the storytelling itself, because if you see someone else become emotional about something and expressive, you tend to react in the same way, which is pretty cool because that's how you get more of an interactive experience. And besides that, again, love the simple sound effects and the background. Even if it's like a simple background of a forest, there's some animation in the background like fog, which is pretty cool. And I also just love again, I don't like to spoil anything, but his twists in a lot of his true crime videos, or I mean, his stories are awesome because they are true, and but he twists them, but it is a twist because you wouldn't expect it. Some of his videos or stories are longer, but I like that because you just don't expect it, and then you just have a genuine shocked reaction. So that's what makes, for me, and that's what makes it very cool.
Yeah, I do feel like it's more personal. Like it is, I feel like it is more engaging when you do see their face, just like get how they're reacting to it and get how they feel about it versus just this cat is doing weird stuff. Just versus just like having a narration and like a picture, because it's not as like you can't connect with the storyteller as much, but I do still appreciate their narration channels as well. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. Go.
Okay, cool. I mentioned something previously in this channel, or not channel, sorry, in this chat room. I mentioned something previously about this guy who makes like little short like animated horror clips called Lights Out Off. He's actually on TikTok, but he has a YouTube channel that does like longer versions of his animations. Her cat is like climbing up on the cabinets and stuff.
What are you doing?
I don't know what's going on. Okay, but yeah, so he's really cool. He does these animated things on TikTok and on YouTube. His link, if you scroll up, it's in this chat room, and he also has merch. I think his merch is pretty interesting. He's got like these weird created cat looking things that he made. I don't know, or they're like dogs, but they're very creepy looking. But apparently he sells them as like plush toys, which is kind of interesting. I tried to buy one, but they were sold out and probably way too expensive. I just got out of college. I have no money, so. But yeah, so he's cool if you want to check him out. I also want to acknowledge some of the suggestions from earlier that you guys put in. Hold on, let me see. So I know that Alana, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Sorry if I didn't. You said something about a YouTuber named Corey X Kenshin. CORYXKENSHIN, who's like a gaming and comedy channel, but reacts to short horror films and animations on Sundays and calls them Spooky Scary Sundays. I have yet to check him out, but I definitely want to. That sounds cool. Just like a combination channel that always sounds interesting.
Interesting. That looks actually cool.
And then Devin on here mentioned something about Nexpo, NEXPO, who talks about weird Reddit pages, video games, and YouTube horror channels, like talks about different ones. So that's cool to hear like the commentary and like reactions to other channels. And I know Reddit has like a ton of horror stuff. Like that is like a, it's like an ocean of horror. Like it's just like very like deep. It's got a lot.
Basic.
So yeah, that's cool that you guys brought some stuff up. I definitely want to check them out when I get the chance. And you even mentioned Mr. Ballin on here too, which is really cool. You guys have good taste. So, but yeah, Keep throwing out suggestions on here if you guys want. Like I said, definitely wanting to see more channels. If I do have a few more to mention. Do you have any on your mind right now?
As of now, those are just a few on my list. If I think of any more, I will for sure bring it up. But no, for now, that is all I have.
Okay. So for me, I do have a few others. Let me see. Okay, so I don't exactly know how active they are. I haven't watched their videos in a bit, but for a while I was really into this channel called Are You Scared, which was like through BuzzFeed, and basically the hosts were Ryan Bargera and Shane Madej. They're best known for their comedic paranormal and true crime investigations on BuzzFeed Unsolved. But the duo also have an independent YouTube channel that they founded with their former BuzzFeed Worth It star, Stephen Lim, called Watcher. The channel is loaded with content that covers a wide array of horror topics. This includes a new mini-series called Are You Scared?, where they tell the internet's creepiest stories and determine if they are real or imagined, combining humor with horror. And in case you guys don't know, I was reading that straight off an article I wrote, actually, so that's why it sounded very formal. But that's basically the gist of their channel. It's through BuzzFeed, and basically people submit stories, and a sketch artist like makes these really sketchy graphics. So they're not even colored in. They're not super animated. They're more just like images, but they're very creepy images. Like they do really add to the creepy factor. And this is a good channel if you're looking for more comedy / horror. Like if you want something more serious horror, then obviously there's other channels to look at. But this is more if you like want to hear a horror story, but you also want to hear people joking about the horror story, being like, why would they do that? Or what a weirdo, or just like funny comments and just like kind of making fun of it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But like obviously not in a mean way, because like people write these stories, they're not going to attack their stories. It's more just to add comedic value. So. And then there's another channel I know of that I was actually watching for a while called Something Scary, on the channel Snarled, Snarled, where the host Sapphire Sandalo, I think, and the occasional co-host Markea McCarty. I'm bad at pronunciation, sorry about that. And they narrate true and make-believe stories centered around the paranormal and supernatural world, with terrifying animation with it as well. She also has a second channel called Stories with Sapphire, where it's just her and not her co-host, I believe. And they also double as podcasts on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts, really anywhere you get your podcasts, I think. So yeah, she has her stories on podcasts and on YouTube, which is really cool. So if you like that animation kind of vibe, obviously the animation isn't as, I would say it's probably not as like dynamic as the animation on Llama Arts and such, but it's still very good animation. And then, oh, of course, I need to mention Creepypasta. He has a lot of stuff out there. So before I forget to mention him, so there's a channel, there's tons of variations of his channel. There's one called Creeps McPasta, which I'm going to talk about, Creeps McPasta. And basically creepypastas, the definition of it, they're basically widespread internet horror stories. And according to what I found online, the name comes from the word copypasta, which means a passage of text repeatedly copied and pasted by various individuals throughout different online forums. So like stuff found on Reddit and stuff found just like all over like online and stuff. This specific YouTube channel is an accumulation of a lot of those stories in one place. So you can also find creepypasta readings on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So really they're everywhere. You can find them through podcasts. You can find them through all the internet channels. There's a lot of different variations of creepypasta, but they're all really good like stories, and there's a wide variety of them. Just like Mr. Nightmare, they're kind of pretty comparable to that kind of style. Like they're very narration based, I think, and and some of them are even animated, which is cool.
Very nice.
And then I got the suggestion a while back from someone else. I'll wrap up pretty soon with this because we're coming down to the end, but if you like when people put on makeup and tell like murder stories at the same time, or like murder mystery, crime, stuff like that, there's this channel by Bailey Sarian, Sarian, Bailey Sarian, called Murder Mystery and Makeup. And basically she just does tells scary stories almost every Monday on like famous serial killers, massacres, and modern day murderers, as she does her makeup. I'm not quite sure if she still posts every Monday. I haven't really kept up with her lately, but I do recommend her. She's a very dynamic storyteller, and it's interesting to see all her makeup looks. And occasionally, I know that like around Halloween, I think she creates really cool like makeup looks for the holidays and stuff. So definitely check her out if you're interested in seeing both makeup and storytelling.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of talent right there because not a lot of people can, at least for me, I wouldn't have the skills to do makeup and tell a story. That's just too much. I can't multitask that well. I mean, that's really impressive. So
Me neither. I would totally lose track of what I was talking about. I'd be like,
I'd mess up my makeup.
yeah, no, I'd either mess up the makeup or I would completely lose track of the story. I'd be like, sorry guys, I forgot what I was talking about. What's the story about again? Did I end the story yet? Like I would be so thrown off. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I don't know, unless you guys want to suggest anything else, or if you have anything else to suggest.
Oh, for now, no. That's about it. That's all I have. I discussed all the things.
All right, I think we've about covered like pretty much all the channels. No, I'm kidding, not all the channels, but I think we about have a good range. You can get a bit of everything from what we suggested. But yeah, once again, definitely let us know what you guys think, and if you have any more to suggest, definitely open to hearing it. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in to the first episode. I'll try to be back bi-weekly. I'm trying to get to a weekly thing, but I am just starting out, so I need to figure out a consistent schedule and definitely figure out what I'm doing and plan ahead and all that. Exactly. So yeah, thank you for listening, and you want to say bye?
Yep. Thank you so much, guys, for listening, and I appreciate Lauren having me as a co-host today. And yes, till next time, everyone.
Yeah, and I will definitely try to have Alice on again if you guys would like, or I'll probably just have her on anyway because she's cool. But yeah, all right. Well, thank
Goodbye,
you,
everyone,
and bye.